It's game time! Hi everyone, this is Marshall Brown with a brand new mini-series of videos where I talk about video games. I'm calling it Game Time. It's so original. But besides that, we're going to be basically talking about everything you need to know about getting your own Nintendo 3DS. Actually, while we're on the subject, I think I might need to change my shirt since we're talking about video games. Let me see if I still remember how to do this. Yeah, that's much more like it. Now that I got my shirt on, it's time to talk about Nintendo games. This video is going to show you everything you need to know if you want to get yourself a Nintendo 3DS. I'll be covering all the best games, in my opinion, that you can get for the system, and I'll be talking about different price ranges of different models of systems that you can get. Whether you're a gamer who is on a very tight budget, or whether you're somebody who hates money and wants to get rid of it as fast as possible, I'll basically give you all the information you need to know. But of course, you can't play 3DS games without a 3DS, so that's where we're going to start this guide. Here's what you need to know if you want to get your very own system. This is my Nintendo 3DS. It's a new Nintendo 3DS XL. No, really, I'm not even kidding. That's what they decided to call this particular model. The new Nintendo 3DS XL. Who would have thought? But I think the reason why they call this thing the new Nintendo 3DS XL is because of all the new perks you get with this particular system. The new Nintendo 3DS XL basically gives you everything that the old Nintendo 3DS gives you, but it also has more L&R buttons to push, a right thumbstick, faster processing power, a better 3D face tracker, we'll get to that obviously later, and of course this thing has NFC capabilities, so you can read amiibos on this thing. You know, read and write and tap your amiibos on the system and play them. Which is cool for me because, as you know... Well, yeah, of course, obviously. When it comes to different models of 3DS, this is the most expensive and the newest and best equipped model that you can get nowadays. Getting a brand new Nintendo 3DS XL, or a new Nintendo 3DS XL if you may, will set you back $200. But of course, there are different models of the 3DS that you can check out if you're a gamer with a very, very strict budget. There's of course the original Nintendo 3DS and the Nintendo 3DS XL that came before the new Nintendo 3DS XL. Obviously, here's my best recommendation when it comes to price points. GameStop.com is basically the best place where you can get different products and different games for just different prices. There's a lot of really low prices for bundles, different prices for used systems. So if you really want the biggest bang for your buck, I suggest going to GameStop to get your Nintendo 3DS. Obviously, you'll find the lowest price there. You could also check out sites like eBay or Amazon. If you really want specifics when it comes to different models and different prices, here are my recommendations. The best that I can say is just be prepared to spend from $150 to $200 when it comes to getting a system. And when it comes to my recommendation, I know it sounds like a whole lot of money, but the new Nintendo 3DS XL, and of course, the other new Nintendo 3DS, which comes in the smaller size, is probably the way you want to go if you've never owned a 3DS before. Especially because there are a lot of perks when it comes to getting yourself a Nintendo 3DS. I'm sure everybody's asking the question, why should I get one of these things? Well, for a few reasons. One, if you really want to play a good, dedicated, portable gaming system that has really great Nintendo games such as Zelda and Smash Brothers, you can't go wrong with a 3DS. In fact, this is really your only option you have. And what are you going to do? Play the PlayStation Vita? Second of all, this is probably one of the only portable gaming consoles you will see on the market nowadays that allows you to play games in 3D. And I'm of course talking about actual 3D that pops right out of the screen, or at least looks like there's a whole lot of depth. It's just the way that this thing was made. This thing uses audio stereoscopic technology, and I'm recommending that you get the new Nintendo 3DS or the new Nintendo 3DS XL, but specifically because they have a feature built into this console that makes looking at games in 3D just a lot more fun to do. Originally with the older Nintendo 3DS, you couldn't really look at the games in 3D without really just having to look at the game at the sweet spot. You have to hold your 3DS in a concrete position, or else you won't get the effect, and you'll get like this blurry effect and stuff. But the new Nintendo 3DS comes with a face tracker and infrared, as you can see at the top right right here. Do you see it? Do you see it? Are you looking at it? Basically, it allows you to look at the 3D without the ghosting effect. So, you know, it's a lot easier to look at on the new model. So the last reason, in my opinion, as to why you should get yourself a Nintendo 3DS really just has to do with the backwards compatibility that this system offers. Any Nintendo 3DS system is backwards compatible with the original Nintendo DS games. If you own an old Nintendo DS, you could trade one in to a secondhand game store like GameStop and get yourself a new Nintendo 3DS or an original Nintendo 3DS. And you'll be able to play all of your DS games on that system. Just look at all these DS games I have. There's a lot to choose from. I mean, the point is, if you're a huge game collector, or if you just love Nintendo games, getting a 3DS basically opens up a whole new world of a system to collect for. It's basically just like 2 portable gaming systems in one, which is always fun. Alright, with that said, let's talk about the necessary accessories you're going to need for your Nintendo 3DS. Now, be forewarned, if you get a brand new Nintendo 3DS system in the box, it may not come with the AC adapter that you need to charge your system and continue to play it if it runs out of power. So if you don't get that, obviously you're going to need to get a separate charger for your system. Sometimes if you get like the older models of 3DSs in the box, they'll give you a charger, especially if it's like refurbished. But if you're going to get yourself the new Nintendo 3DS or the new Nintendo 3DS XL, those new versions of the 3DS will not come packed with a charger. So you need to get this separately if you want to continue playing. Otherwise, you'll just turn it on and play with it for about 4 hours before it adamantly turns off forever. And the thing needs power, so you gotta charge it. So get a charger. These things are like $15, $20, somewhere in that range. Finally, especially if you get like a really big Nintendo 3DS system like the Nintendo 3DS XL right here, you're gonna need a case because there is no way you're gonna carry that in your pocket without scuffing the paint off of it. Okay, like actually though, seriously, you can't even carry around the original Nintendo 3DS in your pocket. These things are just not very pocket friendly, and I guess that's my main criticism. So that's why you should get a case. This is a case that I have here that's stylized to have pictures from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D game, and it's pretty cool because it carries your Nintendo 3DS and it can even carry some games. And it just so happens that the games that I have in the case are the games that I'm going to talk about when it comes to the games that you should get for your Nintendo 3DS. And that obviously brings us to our last segment of the video, where I talk about basically just my recommended games that you should get for your Nintendo 3DS if you get one. These are just my preferences. I'm obviously leaving out really big titles such as Animal Crossing New Leaf or Fire Emblem Fates or Fire Emblem Awakening. I don't have those games for some reason. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go get them, but, you know, let's just get to the facts. Let's just get to the real points. These are 7 games you should get for your 3DS if you get one, in my opinion. As an adamant Nintendo gamer myself, in my opinion, these are the games that you should get if you get yourself a Nintendo 3DS. Let's start things out by talking about probably one of the most unique Legend of Zelda games you'll see in a while. The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Two Worlds. Legend of Zelda: Link Between Two Worlds is a game that harkens back to the 16-bit era of Zelda games, specifically with Link to the Past. In fact, in the Zelda timeline, this is a direct continuation of Zelda: Link to the Past. But this game is a weird twist. This game allows you to go in between walls or on the walls, and that puzzle mechanic is basically a big driving force in the game. If you really enjoy 2D Zelda games, you shouldn't pass this one up. In fact, if you love Zelda games in general, this is probably the best one that you could see in a while. And quite arguably, this is probably the best game you can get on your Nintendo 3DS. Alright, next up, we're going to be taking a look at Super Smash Bros. And I know what you're thinking, a Super Smash Bros. Game on a portable console? Mass hysteria! Well, believe it. It's possible. As the first ever portable Super Smash Bros. Game, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS takes advantage of the Nintendo 3DS's hardware and pushes it to the limit. This game is a really fun fighting game, and it brings together so many Nintendo characters that I can't even count them anymore. If you love playing Smash Bros. Melee or Smash Bros. Brawl, you're gonna love Smash Bros. For 3DS. It's so much fun, and one of my favorite features in the game is Smash Run, which is like a combination of Kirby's Air Ride and the Subspace Emissary from Smash Bros. Brawl. I guess the one thing I don't like about this game is the name. Why would they call it Smash Bros. 3DS? Why can't they call it something like Smash Bros. Massacre or Smash Bros. Killing? I think I just answered my question as to why they wouldn't name it anything else besides. While we're on the subject of fighting games, let's talk about a launch title that came out for the 3DS that is probably one of the definitive versions of Street Fighter 4 that you can play. If you're somebody who really wants to play Street Fighter on the go, look no further. Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition is the game for you. It's Street Fighter in a portable gaming console such as the Nintendo 3DS. I mean, how could you go wrong? The good thing is, Capcom didn't go wrong, as they include so many characters and really great gameplay that isn't even watered down for a portable gaming console. It feels top-notch. This is basically something that I would recommend for anybody who loves fighting games. Fun fact, Ryu from Street Fighter is a playable character in Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. You can download him as DLC. Okay, next up, Pokemon? What's Pokemon? I've never heard of Pokemon before. I'm just kidding. Obviously, one of the main reasons people get a Nintendo 3DS is to play the Pokemon games on Nintendo 3DS. I'm of course referring to Pokemon X and Y and Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. When I was a kid growing up, I really liked the 3D Pokemon games such as Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for GameCube. And this series of games, especially the X and Y versions, kind of harkens back to that time. It really is a huge step up when it comes to playing the game, playing online and trading with friends. It really feels like a giant step up in Pokemon games. Sure, it may have the same formulaic gameplay that we've all come to know and love for years upon years to come, but the series is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and really, if you're a fan of the series itself, go get yourself a copy of Pokemon XY or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And this year, since it is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, Nintendo is giving away some legendary Pokemon on Mystery Gift for those Pokemon games, absolutely free. We are talking about the possibility of getting Pokemon such as Celebi and Arceus, the latter of which has never been released before. You know, that's just amazing. I'm just blown away. And what Nintendo console would be complete without Mario Kart? Mario Kart 7 for Nintendo 3DS is yet another fun entry in the series, and if you're going to get yourself a Nintendo 3DS, this is probably one of the first games you'll play. Throw a Koopa Shell, drop a banana, win first place, avoid the blue shell. Sound familiar? Well, then you'll be no stranger to Mario Kart 7 for Nintendo 3DS. This game's pretty fun because it gives you Mario Kart racing in 3D. It's got good gyro controls, it allows you to pick from a lot of characters and kart customizations. You can even play online, which is also another really fun part. Mario Kart 7 is a really well-made portable racing game in the Mario Kart franchise because it really does feature a lot of characters, a lot of kart customizations and courses. You can even play online, which is always a fun little tidbit. Just try not to get hit by the blue shell, whatever you do. I hate the blue shell. Okay, so there's another game that I have to recommend for the 3DS, but I don't actually own it because I beat it 100%. I'm of course referring to Super Mario 3D Land. It's a really fun and definitive 3D platforming game for your Nintendo 3DS. Mario platforming games are really fun to play because there's just so many different enemies and different levels to play. There's just so much variety in this game, and this is no exception. I really also like the 3D effect in this game. Now, while I don't happen to have it, nor do I have actual gameplay of the game, I really do recommend this game, especially because you can get it used for pretty cheap. If you like games like Super Mario Galaxy 2 or Super Mario 64, you will love Super Mario 3D Land. It's probably one of the premier games for the 3DS. Okay, let's talk about my last game recommendation for the Nintendo 3DS. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D is, in my opinion, one of the best video game remakes of all time. Originally released for the N64, this game really does craft together exploration, puzzle solving, and battle mechanics into a game that many consider one of the greatest video games of all time. Legend of Zelda fans will love it. In fact, basically anybody who played this game will love it. It's like reading a good book. It's so huge, so beautiful, so wonderful, and so definitive. How could you not love the sound of that music and those little child karate grunts that your main character makes? Oh, Link, you little bugger, you. Okay guys, that's going to finish things up on my Nintendo 3DS buying guide. I hope you learned a lot about what you need to do about getting your own Nintendo 3DS, and hopefully my little informational video has helped you out. Join us next time on Game Time, where we talk about what you need to do if you want to get yourself a Nintendo Wii U. Fun stuff.